You know God's been good to you. He done kept you all week long. Just wave your hand. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What can I say? What can I say? Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, 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 yes. Tell your neighbor, you got 49 days. God gonna do something this year. You got 49 days left in this year. God gonna do it. You got 49 days left in this year. God can let it do it. You got 49 days left in this year. God can you got 49 days.
Audience, and welcome to Restored Life Online. Maybe I'm preaching to the wrong audience. Anybody in here in any particular area in your life is experiencing lack? Whether it's financial, relational, spiritual, okay, lack. So I'm preaching to the right thing. I tried to say this morning and it wouldn't come out. So I'm gonna try it again because I will not be defeated. Everything that you need to do, everything that you need is right around you. It would not come out at our 8 o'clock service for nothing in the world. Try it one more time just to make the devil mad. Everything that you need to do, everything that you need is right around you. Some of y'all still lost. I may help you. All you need right around you. Everything you need to do, everything you need to do. It's right around. You may not understand, but the answer to your next blessing might be sitting beside you right now. Oh, y'all don't want to hear me. Y'all don't want to hear me. The problem that we have, the reason that some of us can hear that and still sit still and look stupid is because we have problems identifying and managing miracles. We're so busy looking for the big miracle that we miss the little miracles. We're so busy for looking for the great big door that we don't see the tiny cracks that God blesses us with. My mama used to say, if God shut a door, there are cracks somewhere. It don't even have to be a window. It's y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. If this room is shut tight, all you got to do is open the door with a little crack in it, and you'll still feel the air. You'll still feel the breeze. As a matter of fact, rats don't have to have big holes. Rats will come in the smallest little hole because they are able to adjust their bodies to whatever size they need to get in. I'm trying to tell you, God will make your miracle adjust itself. Your miracle will adjust itself. Some of y'all have been bound up and closed up and shut up, but all God needs is a tiny space just to get some grace through, just a tiny space to get some favor through, just a little area to get through to bless you. But you got to understand what you're working with. That's the problem. We don't really understand what we're working with. All throughout the Bible, those that were afraid of doing what God called them to do always had an excuse, and God always asked them the same question. What do you have in your hand? What are you working with? What do you got? What can you do? What do you do well? What do you love? What intrigues you? What pushes you? What are you working with? That's the problem. We don't really understand how to look and how to approach blessings all around us. I may not have $1, but I see a quarter on the ground. A quarter is a blessing, because if you get enough of them and go to the Coin Star, you got $1. I don't know how look how y'all looking at me, but the Coin Star is my friend. I love them. I ain't even shamed no more. I used to be shamed and try to go in before everybody get up. Look how y'all looking at me. Yeah, you try to go late or go early. You can't go too late because the counter closed down. You got to make sure they open. I used to be bashful. I used to be like, shame. I can't be going in there like that, cashing in no money till I got broke enough. Bobby Joe, they like to play right here. I ain't playing. So when I got broken up, maybe y'all ain't been broke enough. When you broke enough, you'll collect all the coins you got. They be in big old bags. And you be walking through the door just like this here, proud. Because I was broke coming in, but I ain't finna be broke. Okay, I wish I had about 12 or 13 real people in here. You know that feeling you get when you look at it and it get above $20? You step back from it and look at it and then be looking under that thing and say, no, this penny ain't finna get lost here. I don't care if I got to refeed that thing 20 times. It's gonna take this penny because I need $41.38 on my thing. And while that little change stuff starts sounding like music to you, and you start singing a little song about what you about to do with it, I'm going to get me some gas because I didn't have none. I was on E when I drove up here. Now I got enough to get me about $20 worth of gas. Then I'm going to go through the line. I ain't even got to go to the counter because I can pick me up a pack of cookies. I can pick me up a few little items. I'm going to stop by the QT and get me a slushy while I get me some gas because I got some money. And I still going to have $20 or $30 left in my pocket. All y'all, how y'all looking at me? You got to know what you working with. Some of y'all in this room too bougie to be blessed. Let me go on and let you have it while I'm throwing it out here. Some of y'all in here too proud. Y'all just don't want nobody to know your business. But let me tell you something. There comes a time in your life when it don't matter what nobody thinks. And I ain't just talking about money. I'm talking about your relationships. I'm talking about other stuff in your life that got you hindered. Sometime bump your neighbor. Don't matter what you think. I got to go after God. I got to do what I got to do what I got to do. I just believe if God is enough to create where I am, God is enough to stretch what I got. I'm going to say that again. If God is God enough to create where I am, God is God enough to stretch what I got. Look at about 4 or 5 people around you and say, God is in the stretching business. He said, I know your needs are big. I know your needs are insurmountable. I know your needs are blocking you, standing you right in front of your face. But can I tell you, your needs are limited? But God's power, God's grace, and God's abundance is infinite. God will never run out of grace. He'll never run out of favor. So he can give you all the favor you need and won't ever run out. Third mistake I see that they made is they trusted in the wrong sources. I got to get there because it's just my introduction. It says, or are you expecting us to buy the food for all these people with what we got? Because we ain't got nothing. We's broke. We ain't got nothing. At least according to the treasurer. According to the treasurer, we ain't got nothing. We ain't never got no money. We could just take up dues, and in 5 minutes, we ain't got nothing. You got to understand, the treasurer of the group was Judas. Judas was cheap. Judas was a liar. As a matter, Judas was also an embezzler. Judas was stealing the money. And he was appointed to the position by Jesus. And so every time they had an expense, Judas said, we can't do it. We ain't got it. That is the problem. We're asking the God of abundance to bless us, but we listen to the spirit of lack. Think about it. All we talk about is what we can't do, what we don't have. I wish I could, but I think I might, but I ain't got. You know, when you so broke, sometimes words don't even come out your mouth. You know, Oh, that happened to y'all too. Yeah. Judas was a treasurer, and he keeps telling them we can't do. As a matter of fact, Judas was the one that complained when the woman took her own alabaster box and her own anointing oil and started anointing Jesus' feet. Judas was the one talking about, you finna waste all that oil on Jesus? And you know how much that costs? That's 3 days worth of wages. And you finna pour it on somebody's feet? At least pour it on his hair, pour it on his shoulder, something, give him a massage or something. Don't put it on his feet. Judas complained. We often listened instead of listening and trusting in the provider, we will listen to the divider. God is trying to train you. I know it looks crazy right now, but God is trying to teach you that he's a God of abundance, and the best way to teach you is put you in the center of lack and allow you how to teach you how to recognize his blessings when you think you under a curse. And the person that talks you out of it all the time is always the person that's going to sell you out. Yeah, Jesus even sold, Judas sold Jesus out. He could have got more money for Jesus. He sold him out for 30 pieces of silver. That was cheap. That wasn't no money. He just sold him out for the cheapest price. I know it's a difference from being frugal and being cheap. Cheapness doesn't always have to deal with how much money you spend. Sometimes cheapness is a mentality. And it's not just with your money. That mentality spills over into your career decisions. It spills over into how you motivate yourself into moving forward in things, whether it's your education, whether it's musicianship. If you don't share it, I call you cheap. Because you don't want to invest time in your gift, invest time in your talent. You don't want to get better, so you don't practice, you don't share it, you don't learn. Not just learning your parts, not just learning the grooves to the newest songs. I mean learning your craft so that you grow, that you become better, that you become more powerful in what you are called to do. They were afraid of the place that they were. The people needed food. They didn't want to provide. They were afraid of having to do it themselves. And then they were listening to all of the wrong sources. They wanted God to bless them, but they listened to the devil telling them what they couldn't do. All right? So Jesus decides, now I'm in the sermon. Jesus decides now to take this time and teach one more lesson. He's been teaching all day, and he's been teaching the people. Now he has to teach the disciples. And so he takes this time and teaches them this one lesson that you got to break up to make up. Luke 9:14, I'll show you. It says here, it says, for there were about 5,000 men there. Other translation says, plus women and children. All right, so some scholars estimate that it'll be around 20,000 people. 20,000 people. Get your math brain together. All right, 12 disciples divided by 20,000. You might get your phone for that. Your head kind of old. All right, when you get it, let me know. All right, for there were about 5,000 people plus women and children. Jesus replied, tell them to sit down in groups of about 50 each. Let's just deal with the 5,000, huh? Let's just deal with that. All right. I think that would be 100 groups of 50 at 5,000. That's right. The first thing you got to break up is you got to break up giant situations and approach it in pieces. That's the first thing you got to break up. See, the problem is we looking at the giant, and the giant too big. The giant costs too much. We owe too much. The mountain is too big for us. And so we're so overwhelmed by what's standing in front of us, we have the tendency to cower down or to quit or to back away or not to even try. Right. But Jesus says, don't look at the 5,000. Break them down. 100 groups of 50. That might be somewhere around, divided by 12, 480. That's 480 people per man. So I started out looking at, it ain't a lot if you were looking at 5,000. I done went from having to feed 5,000 to 480. Now, break it down into pieces. Some things that you face are too big to handle. You need to attack them a section at a time. Okay, let me see if I can teach this where you can reach it. At the beginning of the month, all your bills due. Now, if you like me, you can't pay them all at one time. there's one bill that sometimes you can't pay it all at one time. And so you got to learn the art of how to pay. And I said this morning, it teaches you how to be a great conversationalist. Because you got to get on the phone and talk to somebody halfway evil about how much money you going to give them, which is far below the money that you owe them. And so you got to figure out how to frame your conversation to get them to understand that I know I owe 200, but you ain't getting but 50. And I'm going to give you another 50 on my next pay period. And you know how they do. They're going to ask you, well, why? And you know it's on the tip of your tongue. Ain't none of your doggone business. Y'all look how y'all looking at me. But you got to come up with something, you know, because you feel like they're infringing on your personal information when they ask you why you ain't got no money. And so one time, this lady asked me that, y'all pray for me. This lady asked me that, well, why haven't you given us the money? I say, because I was waiting on you to pay it. And since y'all kept sending me the bill, I figured that you ain't kept up to your end of the bargain. So since I got to pay it, I'm going to give y'all $50. But we really need 100. I say, so that means you got 50 to put with mine. I split it with you. I bet you they took my 50. She laughed, because she was mean at first. She laughed and said, well, I usually don't do this. That's the word. That's what I'm listening for right there. I said, huh, what you say? I feel favorizing. God will give you an impossible task, but will provide you possible steps. Let him say that again. God will give you an impossible task, yet give you possible steps. What I've called you to do or what I've placed in front of you is impossible for you to do by yourself. But I'm going to show you steps, for the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, which means I'm going to show you avenues. I'm going to give you steps. All I got to came to tell you right now is keep stepping until the impossible becomes doable. Because what you'll find is what started out as an impossibility turns into a possibility when you keep working at it. When you keep working at it. Anybody ever had something in your life that you thought okay, I'll give it to you like this. Anybody had somebody that you dated that you thought you would never get over? Some of y'all have shame because he was that stupid. Or she was that crazy. Or you don't want nobody to know that your nose was that far open. Or you were that whipped. Let's come on, be 100. And you thought while you were going through that breakup or that relationship that you wasn't going to some of y'all wouldn't eat. That was not my problem. I don't care how broke my heart was. Plate was going to get fixed. You can walk out on me, I shed tears while I'm fixing my food. Some of y'all couldn't get out the bed, the house dark. You tearing stuff up in the house. You can't even see, it's so dark. You depressed, been all down, can't nobody talk to you. He done left me. Oh, can't take you out nowhere. Your girlfriends try to take you out to cheer you up. You messing up the party because you sitting over in a corner somewhere looking all sad. What's wrong with you, girl? I don't know. I just was thinking. Look, you left your buddy home. Playing my song, I'm trying to get in and I'm stepping over there at you and you all crying and God. Yeah. You thought that you wouldn't be able to make it, but kept on moving. And the next day got better. Then the next day got better. And then you started thinking about all the stupid stuff that they did, and then it went from, you know what was wrong with me? Exactly. Thank you so much. And then after a while, you got delivered from the stronghold of a toxic relationship. Now it went from something that you never thought you would ever come out of to something that you know you ain't never doing no more. But it started with one step at a time. What seemed to be impossible is now doable. I couldn't live without her until I kept walking, and now I figured out I ain't gonna never live with her. You follow me? You follow me? Second thing that had to be broken up was he had to break up the fear of sacrifice. Break up the fear of sacrifice. Now, y'all gonna have to pray with me, because I told y'all I have a problem of psychoanalyzing the biblical text. And sometimes I go a bit too far. I have a movie imagination. I love movies, so everything, including the Bible, plays out for me in movie, like a movie. And so I started asking questions about this text. We are at this 5,000 people. Now, we stopped at 5,000, but I said with women and children, you're looking at about 20,000 people. Y'all pray for me, because I just don't believe that out of 20,000 people, only one boy brought something to eat. I know you've heard better preachers than me preach this text, and they talk about the lad who had the lunch and five loaves of bread and 2 fishes, and if they were real Baptists, 5 barley loaves of bread and 2 fishes. But I'm just sorry, I just don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deep, but somebody had a sandwich somewhere. Y'all, I'm just sorry. I just see the disciples walking through the crowd, and I see somebody over in the corner peeling back the paper from their sandwich, because it's late in the evening. And they hear the disciples, they getting ready to bite deep down. And they hear the disciples saying, we need food to feed these people. Provide for them, Jesus. Give them what they need, God. Provide the resource. Somebody had a sandwich. Okay, all right, see how y'all looking at me? How many of y'all look? You ain't got to raise your hand, but how many of y'all right now got some crackers, peppermint, or something down in your purse or your pocket right now, just in case y'all get a little luncheon? Some of y'all pulling out a whole thing of strawberry cookies. No eating and drinking in the sanctuary. Some of y'all coming here with a big cup stuffed deep down in your purse, and you act like you feel the power of God and lay down on that straw. Look at, they got bootleg snacks over there. Snacks everywhere. 5,000 and nobody got no grocery nowhere. Some of y'all carry an emergency pack of romaine noodles just in case. Well, one thing, if I ever famine break out, we gonna be all right. Yeah. I didn't expect that many of y'all to have. Yeah. Somebody had resources, but when Jesus needed it, they put it up because they wasn't willing to trust him enough to offer it. It wasn't that the lad was the only one with a lunch. The lad was the only one willing to give it to Jesus. He was the only one willing to say, this is all I got, but... Oh, y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. Some of us, we believe that the only way we're going to come out of financial poverty is to squeeze everything we got. When I'm coming to tell you, how you going to trust the God of abundance to bless you with a closed hand? I'm not doing this to raise no big offering, but if you want to give one, we'll take it. The bottom line is God expects you to be able to sacrifice out of the era of your lack. See, you got to understand, if I don't have but 2 cans of pork and beans, I got to be willing to share one of them. Because if I share it out of my lack, somebody gonna come with some weenies and give me, and I'm gonna have pork and beans and... Y'all don't hear me. Y'all, I done scared them away when I started talking about their money. Yeah. We got to be able to bless God, to trust God. We can't go up here and shout. Y'all shouted and danced all over this about how God gonna do in 49 days. What he gonna do in 49 days? How he gonna do in 49 days? But some of y'all ain't gonna get nothing because you squeezing. The way you gonna get blessed in 49 days is be willing to be free with what you got. Everybody here needs something. Everybody. But the way that you come from where you are to where you need to be is you got to be willing to say, God, it ain't much, but this is what I got. And God, I submit it to you because, God, you can do more with it than I can. You can stretch it farther than I can. Oh, God, I can talk to people all day long and they can tell me no. But if you put favor down on them, I can talk to them one time. Jesus will require you to sacrifice in the area of your lack. The third thing I just had to break up here that I saw to break up, to make up, was we have to offer Jesus what he needs to do, what he needs to do. Jesus told the disciples to bring him what they had, and they took it. He says, what you got? All we could find in 5,000 people were 5 loaves of bread, and 2 fish. That's all. He said, bring it to me. Jesus didn't ask them if they could find any more. Jesus didn't ask them if they could search. Y'all need to go back and look again. Y'all need, Jesus said, bring me what you got. God almighty. And he took it. Oh, this blessed me out of the text. I know, y'all, I'm supposed to preach about the lad. I'm supposed to preach about the 12 baskets. And that's where I'm supposed to close and all of that. But the part of this text that blessed me yesterday, when I kept reading over, he says, he took it. He blessed it. And I say this on first Sundays, but this stuck out to me. Then it says, and he kept breaking it. Oh. On first Sundays, we say he took it, he blessed it, and he broke it. But in the text, it says he took it, he blessed it, and he kept breaking it. And he kept passing it out. Oh, that went right over your head. Now, can I tell you that when you offer what you have to God in obedience, he'll keep breaking it. And he'll keep passing it out. It ain't a one-time thing. He'll just keep doing it. He'll keep. John Pace used to say he keeps on doing great things for me. He keeps on. So it means every time I get in a situation where things look a little slack, I can tell you, anybody here can testify that every time things start looking slack, he'll break off another piece. Oh my. He'll break you off another piece. I know what you got almost about to run out. I know, but he's getting ready to break you off another piece, and he's gonna keep breaking you off, and he's gonna keep giving to you, keep breaking, and he keeps giving. And see, every time that the disciples passed out, when he broke out, they had to go back to him so he can give them some more. Oh yeah, he was teaching the disciples. I just got through telling you about abundance, and I'm your abundance, so keep on coming back to me, and I'm gonna break it, and I don't have to get anything new. I'll keep breaking off of what I already got. And it's still more than enough to bless you. It's still more than, not only to bless you, but to oh yeah, I told you my mind too visual, because the disciples were hungry too. So sometimes when he broke off, the disciples took a bite and still had enough to give out of that boy's lunch. And then he says, after everybody had eaten, not until they were satisfied, eaten until they were full, they came back to Jesus and gave him the report that everybody don't want no more. Don't bring me no more fish. Don't bring me no more bread. Can I tell you that my God has enough power to bless you to the point when you say, hey, you know what? I don't need no more. I don't need no more favor right now. I got so much favor running from me. For me, I give it to somebody. Bless somebody else, God, because you've already blessed me more than enough. In fact, I wrote a song, if you never provide me another blessing, you've already done more than enough. He keeps on blessing. And then he tells the disciples, he says, now I want you to go back again and collect the fragments. Go back and collect all of the fragments. Yes, I know that you want me to deal with the boy and the baskets, but I saw something else in the fragments. Yes, you see, God had to break stuff up into fragments in order to make up for the lack that was in the people's lives. That's what I came to tell you. The reason that you have not lost your mind right now is because you've been making it off of the fragments. I want to speak to somebody in the room that's hurt right now because you have not gotten the whole piece of bread. And I want to tell you that the reason that you hadn't gotten the whole piece of bread is because you haven't learned how to give God praise for the fragments. Yes, the reason that you have not been put out already is because you have been sustained by the fragments. Yes, and all I want you to understand, and even my online audience, is to thank God for the fragments.
God bless you. Any one of you that are listening or watching us right now that do not know the Lord Jesus, come on, bow your heads and repeat after me. Lord Jesus, come into my heart. I am a sinner. I believe that you were born of a virgin, that you lived this life, that you died on the cross for my sins, that you were buried in a grave and then rose again with power, all power in your hand. And I believe, God, that you're coming back again to receive me unto yourself. Save me. Take over my life and be the Lord of my life. I believe this and I confess this in Jesus' name. Amen.